Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today's episode is about what the diet gurus will not tell you. And if you're not sure who I am, I'm Vicki Griffith with Breakthrough. I help women who've been struggling to lose weight and dieting to really let go of the pounds and keep them off without the grueling food plans, without any of that drop dead exercise plans, and without giving up chocolate or wine. So, what is this? What is this that they won't tell you? So, let me first share with you what they normally tell you. They normally tell you that it's the diet, it's the food that you're eating or not eating. And it totally eliminates entire categories of food. It totally eliminates time that you're eating. So here's some of the more popular ones that the diet gurus are expressing. And I want to apologize for this too, because it really leads someone like myself, a professional dieter, and you might be one of those too, right? That moves from diet to diet, just hoping this one will settle, all the while doing it, waiting for that last day that you're on it or that last few ounces so that you want to let go of so you can go back to your normal eating. And the diet gurus normally hand you a diet. They make you believe it's the diet that makes all the difference in the world. That if you go low carb, you go keto, you go on specific programs where you eliminate certain foods, fruits, where you eliminate certain vegetables, where you intermittent fasting, so you're starving a lot of the times. I had someone come up to me who knows what I do for a living, and it's really funny how people always want to come up to me and share with me their success in a weight loss program, and then I see them a few weeks later and they're either the same weight or heavier, which is normally what happens in a weight loss food program. But she came up to me and she said she had just discovered intermittent fasting. And I said, "Oh, is that working well for you?" She goes, "Yeah, that works really well." She goes, "I stop eating at 6 at night and I don't eat until noon the next day." I go, "Okay, that's cool. Well, I'm glad that you can manage that, right?" She goes, "Yeah, my husband was asking me why I was drinking so much water." And I said, "Well, what else am I going to do when I'm so hungry?" That's why it didn't last more than 3 weeks. She was too hungry. And although she had anything and everything available to eat between noon and 6 p.m., that feeling of being physically hungry is not going to help you stick to a food program. What also happens when a guru hands you a food program, or it's shakes, so you drink shakes twice a day, or whatever it is, it's totally different than your lifestyle now. What happens is it puts us in this mental roller coaster of on and off the diet. And we're on the diet, we're being good. I hear that all the time. "Well, I'm being so good." Like, you were good before. Your food choices have nothing to do with it. Or, "I'm being really, really bad." What happens when they're feeling really, really bad? Normally it leads to eating more off program. So they've eaten something off program. An example, a client told me who chose to choose a low carb lifestyle, that she went out to dinner and had a baked potato. And you would have thought it was the end of the world. She had a baked potato out of probably a 10-day stretch of sticking to her food program. And that baked potato created havoc in the rest of the afternoon, because as it was dinner time and she had the baked potato, and, well, I've already blown it, is what most of us professional dieters say. So I will start again tomorrow and eat whatever I want, ordering dessert, having a late night snack, until the next morning when they start all over again. That on and off mentality messes with your mind. It messes with your health. And so these thinking that it's all in the diet that's going to keep you successful and release the pounds and keep them off leads to this all or nothing mentality. You're either on the diet or you're off the diet. And anything off program means you're off the diet, so therefore gives you permission to eat whatever you want until a certain allotted time. So it might be the next meal, it could be the next day, it could be that next week or after the weekend, well, maybe after my birthday or after vacation. So it puts you in that roller coaster of mental anguish, really, when you're on a food plan or a diet. Some people, a very small percentage, are successful at keeping the weight off, but they've done some mental and emotional work through the process. But I would say 97% of us, and I self-included as a professional dieter, was not successful keeping it off. Whether it was 5 pounds I took off or 50 pounds I took off, I was not successful with keeping it off, and it crept on, sometimes very, very quickly. Because if your body's not used to eating certain foods, then it processes them differently. We tend to choose foods that process quickly in our diet or in our body, which is sugars and carbohydrates. And therefore, the body does what it knows how to do. It starts storing fat. And so we gain the weight all over again. On many programs, the first few days, even the first week, is releasing water because, one, you're just not hydrated enough, and two, you're eating foods that inflame the body, which keeps the pounds on. Salt, for one. Maybe you're sensitive to sugar or sugars, so it even could be fruit sugars, and so that keeps the pounds on. You might be sensitive to other types of foods. I've just discovered that I'm sensitive to peanuts and peanut butter, which is really heartbreaking for me because I've eaten it since I was a child and I've always, always, always loved it. But I may need to, and there's no may need to, I will switch to almond butter because that doesn't seem to have the same effect to me. And what does the effect that peanut butter has for me? Well, I start gaining weight pretty quickly because I'm eating a lot of it. I love it. And that little bit leads to a little bit more and a little bit more. And it also does not digest well for me, so it's not good for me to be eating it. So there are foods that are not good for our bodies. And as we become more in tune to our eating, without the on or off a diet, we discover even some healthy foods our bodies don't particularly care for, and yet we're forcing ourselves to eat them because they're on the diet. And that could be a range of anything. It could be broccoli, it could be beans, it could be lettuce. I mean, everyone is so different. It could be just about anything, but we don't really just start discovering that until we start being more in tune with our bodies and what our bodies are doing during and after we eat, sometimes up to 2 or 3 days after, and how it affects our emotions. Most people don't equate foods to their emotions, but if you start paying attention, when you eat sugar, you might feel a lot of energy for a little bit of time, and then you have that drop. So what do you want? You crave more sugar. You crave more carbs, and you eat some of that and you feel better for a little while, and then your sugar drops. And then after a while, and for me, not soon after that, then I start getting headaches. I start getting shakes, physical shakes. My hands start tremoring. I start having difficult thinking properly, cloudy brain, foggy brain, and sugar for me, if I continue to eat it on a regular basis, will start causing anxiety. Most people don't equate it to their emotions. So what does anxiety lead into? More stress. And what does stress lead into? All kinds of other physical issues. So This is what the diet gurus have gotten wrong, is said to give you a diet, a food program. Do they work? Absolutely. You will drop pounds. Will you keep it off? Statistically, it shows no, you won't, because you haven't dealt with the other things. Is a food really good for you and your body? What's the emotional component around food? Are you an emotional eater? And if you are, then it's not about changing the food for you. It's about working through the emotions for you. My clients are successful because they're working through the emotions that's causing them to eat, and they're able to stop them and shift them very quickly in real time. So they stop putting the 3 and 4 candy bars on the conveyor belt at the grocery store at the checkout line. They stop and go do some other exercises or techniques first and find that the craving for whatever it was they wanted has dissipated. And it's not like you're avoiding it, and it's not like you're distracting yourself from it, and it's not like you're trying to not think about it. It's just automatic. It happens automatically. So that's what the diet gurus are doing are doing wrong by you, is they're giving you a food plan. And my clients choose their lifestyle the way they want to eat. We go through the foods they don't want to give up. And then we do find that eventually those foods are causing physical or emotional aspects. And they're willing to then release them from their life because they don't want to experience the consequences of what they do to them. But that takes some time. That takes paying attention to yourself, giving yourself attention. As women, we're so stretched with our attention to everyone else. But that takes paying attention to yourself, loving on yourself by giving yourself some attention. Is there a proper way to eat? Yes, there is for you. We just need to discover that. Is there a way to incorporate it in your life so that you can keep the pounds off once you release it? Yes. Through this work, you also make different choices. It's just automatic. I do not eat fast food every day like I did when I first started this whole program. I rarely eat fast food. Does it still taste good? Sure. It doesn't even occur to me. I have pounds of chocolate in my office at all times. It doesn't even occur to me to go get that chocolate. And in the past, I couldn't have said that. In the past, it would have haunted me. In the past, it would have poked at me because I thought weight loss was all around the diet. And because it wasn't on the diet, I couldn't have it, so therefore I wanted it more. If you are struggling with cravings, which is really what most dieters would say is the sabotager of their program, I have a method that you can download the video series, and I show you how to crush a craving in 30 seconds. And it really works. Now, you may have to continue to use the exercise until you start working through the emotional and mental piece of it as well, but at least it gives you that Band-Aid for now. And I understand how you want something to help you right now. So go to crushcravings.com and download your video series and learn how to crush cravings in 30 seconds so you can feel more in control of the foods that seem to sabotage your program. Until next time, sending love. Bye-bye.